Hello everyone, welcome back again to Selenium WebDriver version 4 with Java UI automation testing from scratch session 4. In today's session, I will discuss about chain locator in Selenium WebDriver version 4. So in the last session, you already learned about the relative locators which introduced in Selenium 4, where you already learned about 5 key importance relative locator like below, above, to left of, to right of, and near. But sometime with these any relative locators might be very tough to identify a element uniquely and will require combination of multiple relative locators. So that is the reason chain locators concept came into the picture for Selenium WebDriver. Chain locator, specifically chaining relative locators, involve combining multiple relative locators to precisely pinpoint an element when a single relative locator is insufficient to identify the element uniquely in the web page. This technique enhances the accuracy and reliability of element identification, especially in complex layout. Selenium 4 introduced relative locator which allows chaining based on the visual position of the element relative to other. Method like above, below, to left of, to right of, and near can be chained for more robust element identification. Chaining can break down complex locator path into more manageable and understandable segment, improving skip readability and making maintenance easier. By combining multiple criteria, chaining locator can be more resilient to mirror changes in the web page's DOM structure as they rely on multiple point of reference. So main objective is that we want to identify element uniquely precisely with the help of multiple point of reference. So say in this particular website I want to identify, suppose say particular field called login button or reset button or password field. So with that some element reference called user ID, with the help of that below password field, I am still not able to identify it uniquely. Some problem is there. So what we can do, we can take other element reference like login and reset button, and we can implement other relative locators, and with multiple combination of chaining, we can easily identify the element uniquely, and it will definitely help us, right, to identify the element uniquely in that particular web page. Let's see the implementation. So what is the way we can do? We can identify couple of element, right? And with the help of that element, we will try to identify a new element with the help of different locator chaining mechanism. Okay, so we'll see the implementation here. Let's create a new testng class. So we already created the Selenium WebDriver version 4 tutorials. We created the package com.selenium4.training. We'll create a new class, testng class, called chain locator. So what we will do, so in the last session we already created that before method, after method. So what we will do, we will try to go do that global setup. So let's remove this part. So at the class level, what we can do, we can do the global setup called WebDriver driver global variable, and we can create a variable for URL where we are trying to interact with this particular URL, right? demo.guru99.com before. Now what we will do, we will set up, we will create a method for setup, which is nothing but the before method, so it will work for every method. Okay, so at the class level we are just doing that one, creating a before method where we are trying to calling that before method annotation from testng, and creating a method called setup where we are trying to create a instance for the Chrome driver. We are trying to delete all the cookies. We are giving some implicit timeout 10 seconds, and we are maximizing the driver. And now we can create a another annotations for that after method, where we can try to create a method called tear down, where we can try to close the browser for every method execution. So this is the after method annotation. This is the tear down method where we are closing or quitting all the browser after every method. Now I will try to create a test cases. Okay, let's try to create a simple test cases for the chaining locators. Okay, so this is the test annotations, and this is the thing I can mention called chain locators 1. This is the method name, and where I am passing the URL for the whatever URL we already defined here at the class level, demo.guruntu99.com URL. Now what we will do, we will try to identify a couple of elements. Okay, so what we will do, we will try to create a web element for identifying the say password field. Okay, so we'll create a locator called web element. It is a text field, password equal to driver dot find element. Here we can call by, and we will see what are the different thing available, techniques available, element locator techniques available. So if I want to navigate to the if I just want to mouse it over to the password field, you could see it is the input tag, type equal to password, name equal to password. So I can identify with the help of the name element locator. Okay, so by dot name equal to password. Okay, that is the way I have identified a web element called password field. Now what I can do, I can try to identify another uh, web element for the reset button. So with the help of the password and reset button reference, I want to identify the login button with these two combinations. So let's try to identify the reset button. So what is that tag equal to input, type equal to reset, and name equal to button reset. So what we will do, we will try to create a web element for the reset button. So button reset diver dot find element by dot name. So this is the name button reset. So I can try to identify it. Now what I will do, I will with this particular two web element reference, I will try to identify a web element called login button. Okay, so what we will do again, we will create a web element here. Okay, button login equal to here, what we will do, we will do driver dot find element. Here we will be calling relative locator dot with what is the we are trying to do, we are trying to identify with the help of the tag name input, right? So by dot tag name input, then what I will do, I will call that below, right? That button is available below the password field, so I will be giving it below text password field, right? This is the one combination, and again I will be using chaining now. Okay, so it is left, right, between the reset button left side. So to left of. Okay, what is the options? Button reset. Okay, now I'll close it. Now with this help of these two web element reference, password field and button reset, using chaining mechanism, I am able to identify the login button with the help of the tag name input. Now what I can do, it is identified. So now what I can do, I can assert dot assert true. I can give the boolean condition. So what is the condition here? So this is the button, I want to check whether it is displayed or not. Dot is displayed. Okay, after that I want to do assert dot assert equals, what I can do, I want to get the different properties, right? Say what is the properties, value equal to reset, sorry, value equal to login, right? This is the stuff I want to do. So what I'll be doing, this is the field dot get attribute or get DOM attribute or whatever you can call, and you can call give something called value, and what the value is equal to, it is equal to reset. So that part it should match, so assertion should be true. Now let's try to execute the test case and let's see what is the way with this particular chaining mechanism, we are able to identify the login button with the help of password and reset button reference, and we are able to identify the element, and now this element is displayed and its attribute value equal to match with reset. Let's try to run it with the help of the testng test. It will try to open the Chrome browsers, it will maximize it, it will delete all the cookies, it will set that implicit timeout 10 seconds, it will load the page, and then with the help of that password and reset button reference, it will identify the login field, and it will be able to do it. So what is the that? Okay, sorry, it is not the reset because we are identifying the login field, so assertion is getting failed. So my test case is working fine because I want to identify the login button. So what is the login button value? This is the login button value, right? We need to give it login, not the reset, because with the help of this password and reset button reference, I am identifying the login button, which I am checking is displayed or not, and attribute value matching with login. So you could see this is the assertion error is coming. Java.lang.assertion error, expected reset but found login. An error is being displayed or thrown after 10 seconds, whatever wait time we have given, right? That implicit wait time means it will wait for that, it will work for the driver level. Whatever browser is opening for that particular all the actions, it will wait for maximum 10 minutes before throwing any kind of error or maybe element not found by primary stuff. Okay. So now apart from that, what we can do, we can also check whether the button is enabled or not. So let's see implement it also dot is enabled. So also it should work. So all the assertions should pass now. Let's try to execute it. Okay, you could see now test case got passed. So all the assertion is getting passed. So with the help of this two element reference, I am able to use that chaining concept, chaining locator concept, we are able to identify the element. Now what you can do, you can try to create one more test case. Okay, give as test chain locator 2, and in case you do not want to execute the method, what you can do, this is the testng test method, so you can use enable equal to false. So it will be there, this test method will be there but not be executed. Now what we'll be doing here, we'll be trying to identify the login button again with this password reference, button reset reference, apart from this other reference called user ID field also, right? So what we will do, we'll try to create one more element called text user ID. Okay, so let's identify the element first, user ID. Okay, let's see the user ID field. Okay, so name equal to user ID, text equal to text. So this is the name. I can change it to UID. Okay, so now I have identified three elements: text user ID, text password, text button reset. With the help of these three web element reference, I want to identify the login button. So what we can do, divert.file element relative locator with by tag name input, right? Again here I can call below password and also dot below dot below, and I can give it below user ID dot to left of. Okay, button reset. Okay, now it should work. So we are trying to chain with three web element reference. What is the reference? Text password also it will be below field, user text username also it will be below field, and the button reset it will be left element, and element tag name should start with input. That is the reason I am trying to identify the login button, and which will be definitely displayed enabled, and this value also will be checked also will be right. Attribute value will be login. Apart from that, if you want to give another attribute, what is the other attribute available? Let's see. For the login button, okay, type equal to submit, so you can just validate type as well. Okay, login button web element difference dot get DOM attribute or get attribute. Okay, what is the type equal to submit. So that is the way I can add n number of assertions. Okay, now what you can do, you can try to, okay, after checking everything, what I can do, we can try to click here, right? We are trying to enter some value. Let's see, enter some value as well. Dot send key, say user 123. Okay, now with the help of the password also. Okay, let's try to send keys 123, and now we want to click on that button, right? Login button. Let's click because this is a button, we can click it. Dot click. Okay, now we can wait for some time. Rate dot sleep. Let's wait for 3 seconds to see whether it's happening or not. Now we can do with try catch block, surround with, or you can give some source declaration, that is fine. We can surround with try catch block. Now what will happen, only this particular test case will be executed because other test case we already make enabled equal to false, so it will not be executed, it will be there, but it will be disabled from the execution. So test chain locator 2 will be executed, where we are navigating to the URL, we are identifying 3 elements, user ID, password, and button reset first. And with the help of these 3 elements, we are trying to identify the button login. So button login is left side of the reset button and below in the password and user ID field, where input tag name equal to input. Now after the identification, we are checking if displayed is enabled, and attribute value also match with login. Attribute type also should match with submit. After that, we are trying to enter some value in the user ID field and password field, and we are trying to click on the login button, and we are waiting for 3 seconds. Let's see what's happening. After that, it will close the browser. Now let's try to execute the class with the help of the testng test. So it will identifying. Now it's entering and clicking on the login button. Now you could say user or password is not valid. That's fine. That is expected. Okay, now my test case also got passed. So that is the way, right? In case sometime one particular relative locator might not work to identify the element uniquely, you can try to take help from the combination of multiple relative locators with the, which is nothing but the, this is the called chaining locators. Okay, so that's all from today's session, guys. Thank you.